This is Teresa Kaczynski, and I'm just doing a short tutorial on error propagation of averages for my Chem 457 Section 3 class at Penn State University, fall 2016. So for this case, I have a grouping of measurements, and this could be a measurements of a mass, of a length, whatever. Doesn't really matter. So one of the first useful things is to know the count of the measurements, and there's no use in counting actual cells in Excel. So we could just use the count function, which is literally just count and then highlight your measurements. So I have 14 measurements here. We can then calculate the average, which once again is just the average function in Excel. And then we could calculate the standard deviation, which is the STDEV function in Excel. Because this is an average, we'll need to calculate the standard deviation of the average. So that is equal to the standard deviation divided by the square root of the count. And then that is our standard deviation of the average. To report this at a 95% confidence interval, as you will be requested to do in all your lab reports and homework, we need to find the t-crit value. You could either look this up in a table on the appendix in your lab manual, which is on page A7, or you could just look it up on Excel. So the function for this is T inverse, which is TINV. And then you have to put in your probability, and this does the opposite. So for 95% confidence interval, it's going to be the opposite decimal. So it's going to be 0.05, if that makes sense. And then you put in your degrees in freedom. And for this is the count minus 1. So this is just going to be the value of 13. And I get a t-crit value of 2.16 and so on. So then to get your uncertainty of the 95% interval, or confidence level, you would just take your t-crit and multiply it by your standard error, and you get an uncertainty value of 0.0185. So now to actually report this value with the uncertainty, you would report it as 3.91 plus or minus 0.02, and once again I only report it to that first value, and then my average value has the same number of decimal places. And so that's a brief tutorial on how to do propagation of error with an average.